in the house with Hurricane Betsy Barnes, and we've been talking about New Year's resolutions, and are you keeping them, and what are the top ones? We're excited to have my husband, Dr. Curtis Solar, join us on, because some of those involve your health, and there's a lot of things that I think that folks need to know that they can be doing for themselves that don't take a lot of effort. And my sweet puppy, Ori the Dude, one of those is to take up a new hobby, sport, or other interest. And my interest is Ori the Dude. He's a Bernie Doodle. He is sporting, if we can show you right here. Let me get that computer down for sure. He is sporting his leather jacket because it's cool outside. And he has his own TikTok account. So if y'all are TikTokers, follow him at Ori the Dude. He tries to post fairly frequently when he's doing entertaining things. So, but we'll let you have a little bit of time, honey.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
Since I drove the dog
Since
here.
you drove him here. And I know, Betsy and I were talking about a lot of New Year's resolutions, and a lot of folks, it's lose weight, get healthier, try to eat better, try to exercise. And we were talking about how a lot of people didn't make resolutions because they were bummed out because of COVID. Those who did, only 6% end up continuing with the resolution, but it needs to be more than a resolution. If they're concerned, and they were concerned about COVID and not wanting to die from COVID, but there's so many things you can do yourself on a daily basis that lessens your risk of not just having severe complications of COVID, but other health issues throughout your lifetime.
Sadly, it was a terrible year for so many things, including health. Everything the powers that be told us to do was counterproductive. Sit in your home and be afraid instead of going outside and do healthy things and try to overcome the obstacles that could hurt you. The COVID only showed what was wrong with us, which is our health. And people are not focusing on health. For that, they were focusing on not getting something that, if you were healthy, wasn't going to hurt you. They should have been focusing on trying to be healthy and doing all the things. And as Alyssa said, do little things one at a time, because there's 1,000 things that help.
And one of those things is having a pet to love on, to help you with your mental health. That's one of those things, and I think he wants me because I'm his mommy, and he loves me, and I'm the one. So I got to get a little bit closer here. But talk a little bit about some of those individual things, and just recently, because I mean, people just want to be politically correct, and they don't want to say anything. But just recently, they were like, one of the risk factors for getting COVID and having severe complications was, and they put it, being chubby. So we saw from the very beginning that being overweight was a huge factor as far as whether you got it and whether
older age and being overweight, both are things that hurt your immune system. So you want to do things to help your immune system, which would just losing a few pounds will help that. Doing things like you and I do, short fasts, is very good for your immune system. Vitamin D, probably the best way is to get it naturally. Get outside, get some sun. Take the supplements are probably also good, but get hot and sweaty. That's actually good for our bodies.
Right. And so, like you said,
yeah.
Well, like you said, at the beginning of COVID, people took it as, you're not supposed to even go outside, and they were arresting people who were throwing the ball in the pretty
people
sun.
on the beach.
And get off the beach. Whereas those things, getting out in the sun, being active, could have been things that actually helped your immunity.
Right.
Yeah, and talk about, there's some studies that we talked about specifically with vitamin D, which is such a simple thing to do, and so many people don't get enough of it, even like going outdoors. But if you take a supplement, there are some studies that show.
There were a lot of studies that showed that if you had adequate levels or fairly high levels of vitamin D, your chances of dying of COVID were very close to zero. There's confounding things. It could be that mostly healthy people have such high vitamin D levels, but it's definitely worth taking a supplement.
It's a pretty simple, easy thing to be doing.
It's very low risk. and not that costly.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about the fasting and the intermittent fasting. And we've talked about it a little bit on the show.
There's times we've gotten together and you're like, I can only have 500 calories today. And I was like, what is that, like a handful of popcorn? What is that? What is that? How do you do that?
You eat right, it's a decent bit. But.
If you don't keep up with it in a little calculator thing, then you don't know what's going in and what's,
As Kay remembers, I used to fuss at her for skipping meals. But
did.
apparently that was the right thing to do. Our bodies prefer to eat in short windows. The concept of 3 meals a day and a snack was something that was dreamed up in the early 1900s. I'm blanking on the exact. But
maybe food wasn't as plentiful as it is now.
Well, when it wasn't and people were on the farm, they didn't eat 3 meals a day.
Because they were working all day.
They were working all day.
to get that meal.
Yeah. But anyway, it's probably better to eat in fewer meals than what we do. And fasting is showing in many studies to be a very healthful thing for us to do.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things that go on during that fasting window that really helps boost your immune system and does things.
Gives your body chances to repair itself. Also, eating constantly, it promotes your body to overdo things, which can be overdone in your blocking your blood vessels, overdoing, sending chemical signals to your cells to reproduce when they don't necessarily need to, including cancer cells. So,
right.
It's theorized. It's all of them are very hard to do the studies to show, but that it probably reduces your risk of heart disease, cancer, and helps your immune system to do things like fight COVID.
Yeah, for the intermittent fasting. But you also mentioned even modest weight loss. Even if you started a plan to where you ate healthier, you lost 10% of your body fat, if you were overweight, that's been shown to reduce your risk for high blood pressure and diabetes and heart disease and just, really put you on a better picture of health.
Well, and if you're not eating healthy foods or you're eating too much, you're eating too many preservatives, too many inflammatories, too much sugar.
Right.
And people who are chubby, because I've been chubby, okay? People who are chubby.
We've all been chubby.
We've all been chubby. Everybody's been chubby.
One or the other.
That's right.
Chubby or fluffy, whatever the word was at the time.
Use not fat, use fluffy.
Yes, that's right.
But the whole thing is that we just want to live a healthy life so we can enjoy our family.
And that's where I think the intermittent fasting, even if you're still eating the same very bad American diet, which I totally don't think is good, you're still better off if you're doing it intermittently or doing some fasts in there. But obviously you want to work in healthy foods as much as you can into your routine.
Yes.
Less processed.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate my husband, Dr. Curtis Solar, coming in tonight. He's an OBGYN at Louisiana Women's Healthcare Associates. Bringing my Ori the Dude. Smile for him, Ori. Yes, Ori the Dude. He is the star of the show on TikTok. For his birthday, he wanted to be a famous TikTok dog. So y'all make sure and follow him. And don't go anywhere because next up, Betsy interviews Alex Smith, an Alexandria boy who's up in Nashville, was home for the holidays, and
he's a cool dude too.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll be right back.